This call is being recorded.
All right, so I hit record, Regina, and Regina, we were talking about a really crucial subject, very, very crucial subject, because me and you are both spiritual people, and I know that you've been studying, you've been in walking the religious faith for a while. You've been a Christian for a while, right? With the blood that you talking
Yeah.
about putting the blood of Jesus on people, right?
Right.
And right. And Regina, my background with Christianity is a little bit different than most people. I grew up, my father, I'm mixed, I'm black and white. And so my father grew up in Mississippi. They moved to Mississippi when he was a little boy. My father was born in 1939 in Jackson, Mississippi. And so all my family who lives down there in Mississippi, they're like, how black people in the deep South are with church. Like all they know is church. Most of them, all they know is church. And so they're very religious. They always had a lot of people I was related to always had a Bible around and stuff like that. But when I was growing up, nobody ever, I went to church a few times, but nobody ever formally tried to press religion on me. But at a younger age, I started studying the New Testament, and I really like the Old Testament. I just love the Old Testament. I always loved the Old Testament as much, I'd read it every single day and study it off and on when I had the opportunity. And as getting alternative research, I began studying the concept of astrotheology, which is the study of religion and the stars, and it talks about how Jesus may be a metaphor for spiritual and intellectual enlightenment. So I've had a background study it from that aspect. Then I've had different interpretations of theology, through like the Hebrew Concordance and stuff like that. But I do believe historically that there was somebody who Jesus, I do believe historically there was a figure in the ancient past that, look at and did exactly what he did. Look at what he did. He stood up to the corruption. He stood up to the corruption in the churches. He stood up to the corruption in the government. And if you read, if you read the New Testament, he's just a man who just stood up to a lot of different corruption and helped a lot of people. And I know for people who are like you, who are religious, who are Christians, it's a very serious subject to talk about Jesus, and I respect that and I honor that. But me myself, I pay homage. If somebody's Muslim or Jewish or Christian or whatever they are, I have a respect for them in general. And I'm very deep into the spiritual study, and I know that these people, when it comes to gang stalking, are into demonic stuff. And I know there's different levels of witches. Like there's some people who are into witchcraft who really don't have any evil intentions at all. You know what I mean? They just kind of play around and mess around with it a little bit. They're kind of like kids in the graveyard at night, smoking pot and playing with Ouija boards, that type of thing. But then there are people who in their minds they are into really strange, sick, demonic stuff. And to me they're like some low level bums who always want to mess with people. They always want to mess with people and mess with the structure of the universe, and they're never in harmony with it. They're just some sick, twisted, deranged bums. And my God's not going for. I mean, our God's not going for it. And how do you feel about the whole thing, Regina?
Well, the the people that I've came across that are into witchcraft, they have an anger, and they have anger in them because they have a spirit of anger, which is a demon. Anger is a demon, and they'll just dislike a person for no reason. You don't have to do anything to them. They just, because they have this power, they like to put themselves above others, and then they want to use this power against others without having a cause. And I've had people to come against me, if it started in the church. I had people come against me in the church, and then I've had neighbors who was witches. And the reason I knew they was witches because I could, I overheard them talking about it. But at my church that I was attending, this one lady brought a gift to me. And when she brought the gift to me, she didn't speak or anything. She just put her head down like she was praying. And, I'm looking at her, trying to figure out what she was doing. And when she finished, she told me who sent the gift. And the lady that sent the gift, I knew she said she used to be a witch. God let me know that she was still dealing and dabbing in witchcraft. So when she just handed it to me and told me to give her a hug, and so I did and left. But I didn't wear it, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I just set it in the closet. But they told me I should have burned it. But anyway, the lady that sent it was married with me and my grandson, who was only 9 years old at the time. And so I was coming out of the bedroom, and an orb just came out of the invisible and was just sitting up in the air. And I was looking at it, but I was talking. And then it flew in my mouth. And so I got some anointing oil and poured in water, and I prayed over the water, and I drank it. Then my grandson, he grabbed his throat, and he said something flew down his throat. So I prayed over him. But the oil was in me for 4 years before it came out.
Mm-hmm.
During the 4 years, I went to different churches trying to get help.
Right.
So every church I went to was looking at my past, kept talking about my sex life, and just they rejected me in church. And at the time, I didn't know anything about game stalking.
Right.
And then I went to this apostle, and he was supposed to be praying over me, but I kept hearing a voice say, "Don't trust him." But I said that anyway, because, he's an apostle. But I just kept hearing his voice say, "Don't trust him." But anyway, he made this orb angry. Whatever it was he did, he made the orb angry. And so when I went to church the next day, the orb, it took everything I had in me, all the strength I had, to keep my ability to stay, keep sane, because this thing was acting up in me. It had never done that until he prayed over me.
Right.
And so when I went home, I was laying in my bed, and I just started praying. That's who I should have went to in the beginning, to God, because it had been in me for years. So when I prayed, and I said, "God," I said, "how am I going to get this thing out of me?" I said, "I've been going to all these different churches, and no one has the power to help me." And I heard God told me to play this prayer, because I had to pray the prayer every night on the CD player, because I would have bad dreams. I would always have demonic dreams unless I played this prayer. So when he told me to put it at my belly, so I put it at my belly. I put the CD player at my belly, and I cut it up loud, and I put it on repeat, and I just started praying along with the prayer.
Right.
And then I don't know if I fell asleep or what. I just remember it coming up out of my belly, and it was in my mouth. And I ran to the bathroom and spit it in the commode, and it was like a brown meatball, and it had green veins on the side of it.
Wow.
That's how I got it out of me. But none of the people, I went to prophets, I went to apostles, I went to pastors who sort of had the power of the Holy Ghost. But all the thing these people did was talk about me, belittle me, talk about, trying to keep me in my past when I'm trying to go forward. And I'm trying to live, past my past. I had already asked God to forgive me for my past.
You're trying to live in the now. You're trying to live in the now, what's going on now, and they're trying to they're trying to mess with your mind or mess with your life and keep you in the past to make you feel like you're a bad person, or you need them more than what you really do. They're misleaders. A lot of these people in these churches are misleaders, and they're filthy, and I've never heard any of them get up on television and say end the wars. I've never heard one church leader in this country get on television and say stop the wars now. Children are being blown up. It's a horrible thing. We want it to end now. I've never seen one church in this country who has the fucking balls to do that, Regina. They're cowards, misleaders.
Yeah. And so even my grandchildren, they were saying things about my grandchildren. And so, I just lost faith in the church. And for some reason, it seemed like everywhere I move beside witches. And I couldn't understand what was going on. Why these people, why I keep moving beside witches, and why these people, even though they're witches, that's their life. But why are you attacking me when I haven't done it? I don't even know who you are. And then, they started using powers, and it just got really bad. And I just tried to get more and more into the Bible and reading and praying. And this one man I was living beside, well, I didn't live beside him. I lived across the street from him. And I could be on my knees praying, and I would be praying in tongues.
Mm-hmm.
And he would know that I'm praying in tongues, and he at home inside his house across the street. But he would come to my neighbor's house and be complaining about me praying in tongues. But I would be praying, with the inside inside the house voice. And I couldn't understand, how do this man know that I'm praying in tongues?
Right,
And
right.
he would go to my neighbor, and I would hear the guy say, "Man, she praying," like that. And I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with him. Why is he concerned about me praying in tongues? How can he hear me when
Right.
he's across the street and I'm over here and I'm not even praying loud? I'm just praying on my knees at my bed praying. But
Right.
he could hear me praying in tongues. So I didn't know what was going on, what kind of power these people. I'm thinking that these people got some type of great power. And one guy, he would cut up the cement and put symbols like triangles and lines and dig holes in the whole entire driveway. And then at nighttime, I would hear this like boom, 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 different booms, and they would be hitting me in my belly. And I would just have to pray. I had to do a lot of praying, and I didn't understand what's going on. Why are these people attacking me? And so I started doing some research on witchcraft. That's what I really was doing, trying to figure out what this power is these people is hitting me with. And that this one guy, he would like seeing it would sound like a bunch of bugs hitting the house. But I would never see anything. I could just hear it. I could see the dent in the siding, but I could never see anything but the dent. But I could feel it hitting my body.
And
so
I
ended up moving.
And the crimes that in the natural law, universal crimes they commit against our God, they not even against our God, the crimes they commit against themselves by the breaking the rules of universal law. These people think they can do anything they want to anybody and walk away from it, and they don't think they ever have to answer and be held accountable for what they do. They think they got a free pass. They in their minds, they think they got a free pass to run around and do all this demonic stuff and hurt people and lie to people, and they can walk away from it. And they've only been on Earth for a short amount of time. They've been on this planet for a very short amount of time. This planet has been here for millions of years. These civilizations have been here for there's civilizations on this planet that go back millions of years. This universe is incredibly ancient, and their little pea-brain deranged mind has only been here for a few decades, and they think they can run around and do whatever they want to do. And they're paying for it, and they're gonna pay for it, because when our God gets through with them, they're gonna wish they were never fucking born. And so, and Regina, I'm sorry, Regina, but that's just how I feel about it. So, but go on, sweetheart. How do you how do you feel? How do you feel now? Do you feel like you've come through some horrible things and it's getting better, or do you feel like it's getting worse? How do you feel about it?
It's getting worse because when I moved, I wrote to some of the senators. I wrote to the sheriff department. When I wrote to the sheriff department, the sheriff they started riding by my house. So I wrote to the church. When I wrote to about 6 or 7 churches in this town, that's when it got bad. When I wrote to the churches, cars began to ride by my house. Then I moved. I ended up moving. When I moved, it got even worse. I have so many people, 24 hours a day. They ride by. If I go to the doctor, they beat me to the doctor office, and then they come in. If I go to the grocery store, they're already at the grocery store, and then they coming in. No matter where I go, they follow. Like if I'm going somewhere, they might be like maybe 4 black cars, and they'll just pile right there together. They're letting you know that they are following you. They'll get in front of you. So by being someone that's being stalked, you already became accustomed to what they do. So they kind of make you paranoid, so that you'll be fearful and make you not go nowhere. But if you stay home, they'll tax you in your home while you're watching television. You being hit with frequency, and then they have a beam that burns you, and then they have a wave that the implants that are in your body and the nanotechnology that's on your skin, it attacks all. You just attack no matter whether you go or if you stay home. You can't sleep at night because once you go to sleep, I don't understand if they know when you're sleeping. Well, they probably do because they have things in our eyes. And how long they have been chipping us, I have no idea. All I know is that they see where I am inside the house. If I'm in one room, they know what room I'm in. If I'm in the bathroom, they know I'm in the bathroom. If I'm in the kitchen, and I couldn't figure out, at first I didn't understand because I didn't know that there was something in my eyes. Right. And I couldn't figure out how they know where I am in the house, and they hit me. Wherever I am, they'll hit me with this power. And so I found out. I was researching on the internet, and I came across this pastor, and her and her family are being gang stalked. And so she was telling me, it's witchcraft, because that's what I was looking for, trying to learn about the witchcraft. She said it's witchcraft, but it's more deeper than just witchcraft because it's dealing with technology. So she was telling me the different videos to look at. So I looked at the videos, and I realized these people going through the exact same thing that I'm going through. But at first I was dealing with my neighbors having extremely loud sex. I mean, it was so loud, and that my apartment would shake. And I said, now this is not normal. Most people want to. They don't want you knowing every time they have sex. But my neighbors will always have extremely loud sex, and the house is shaking, and they didn't, and they would get mad because you are complaining. And I had three different neighbors I had to go through this with in apartments. And then they have everybody mad with you. And then the landlords, they are involved in it also, because whoever it is that is monitoring you, go to the landlord, tell them lies. And then the landlord, they're getting paid 2 ways. They're getting paid by you. They're getting paid by the gang stalking. But at the time, I didn't know that was gang stalking. But I couldn't understand why these people giving me a hard way to go. I mean, I'm talking about the landlords. Why they want to give me a hard way to go, and why they allow these people to make all this noise, and they do nothing about it. And so when I talked with the pastor, and I started looking at the videos, some of the other people were going through the same thing. They was going through, people having the loud sex, and people on the other side of the walls listening to everything that you do. You don't have no privacy. You know, if you go to the bathroom, they listening that you at the bathroom. If you in your bedroom, you can't even talk on your phone. They listening at your phone call. And so then you can hear them talking, but they act like you can't hear them, but they can hear you. And so, you know, I would retaliate and I would do dumb things, and I would hear God tell me to repent because I would get real loud and beat on the wall or beat on the floor or cut something up real loud just so I wouldn't hear what they was doing, but God would tell me to pray.
Right.
And so when I moved in this house here, I have to deal with they hired the whole entire neighborhood. The ones that's close in front of you, beside you, and behind you. They hire these people to terrorize your life, to pretty much just take all your peace and all your joy from you. So here
Right.
I'm being hit with frequencies that it's like a beam that come through the walls and come through the windows. So I put aluminum foil and aluminum pans. I got maybe 3 or 4 different layers of aluminum, and it still will come through and hit me. You can see the little holes. So I had to put mirrors up. I hope that it will keep it from coming and hitting me because I had started bleeding from the inside. I was hocking up blood and from my bowels, and so I went to the hospital. I actually was being gang stalked in the hospital. The whole time I was in the hospital, in the emergency room. Once they put me in a room, they put me in a room that didn't have a phone. They didn't try to feed me. I was there that morning, and I had to spend the night. I had to pretty much beg for something to eat, and I didn't get anything until 10:30 that night. And they just gave me some like a frozen dinner, and they brought me some ice that tasted like it had iodine or something in it, and I got dizzy. Whatever was in the ice made me real dizzy. And then I had to have a stool prep, and whatever she did, she caused me to have a rash. So now I'm afraid to go to the hospital. I'm afraid to go to the doctor because when I go to the doctor, the gang stalkers are there.
Right.
And the doctors are gang stalkers. I've been stalked by military. I've been gang stalked by the police. It's nowhere. No matter where I go, I'm gang stalked. And if I call the police for help, because at my apartment, well, it's a duplex, the guy that was living beside me, he would be up in my ceiling trying to get in my apartment because I had to put latches so they couldn't come in because they would be up in the ceiling. And so I called the police to let them know what was happening. And the police told me it wasn't against the law for them to be up in the ceiling because it's a public place. Now, these are grown men trying to break in my apartment. And so how come it's not against the law for someone to be trying to break in your apartment on your side where you pay rent instead of crawling around on their side? It's crazy. So the police, even the mailman, I have the mailman throwing my packages on the porch. I have it on video about 3 or 4 times where he threw my packages. So now it don't even show him. Someone is controlling my security cameras outside. This is how bad this gang stalking is, that you have no safety. These people take total control over your life because they are so good with technology. They consider themselves geniuses, but they are psychopaths. So if you have this type of knowledge and you so smart and intelligent, why not use it for the good?
Regina, IBM, the computer company IBM International Business Machines, Do you know they used some of their first computers in the Holocaust?
Hmm.
The Holocaust, which was designed to murder little children and make lamps. The Nazis used to murder little children and make lampshades out of their skin.
Oh wow.
And they would cut little girls' eyes out and do experiments on it to make different colors and stuff. And everybody in Germany considered these people to be the authority in the law. You know, don't disrespect the Nazi Party because that's the law and that's the authority, and you want to be right with the authorities. But then they're tearing out little girls' eyeballs and murdering children and making lampshades out of their skin. And they use the international business machines, IBM machines, to coordinate it. And they were being funded. The Nazis were being funded by rich banks. These people started off dirt poor after World War One, and they were financed and funded to pull little girls' eyeballs out. And so, yeah, you know,
But you
such
know,
big.
where this come from. This game stalking with the UK auto mind control. This come from Germany.
Yeah.
These are German scientists that came to America doing this on American citizens, and it was supposed to stop it back in the 70s, I think it was. But they just changing the name of it because there was something, the same thing. It was called the name of Project Artichoke, and so now it's game stalking. But this is all Germany scientists that started all this stuff, and America is allowing these people to come to America, and you know it's like terrorism against the United States.
Regina, you know what, Regina? I know exactly what you're saying, but you know a lot of the money actually came from America. You know, Wall Street created the Nazi Party, and after World War II, a lot of American companies were suing the United States government because they said that their companies were blown up. They were over there helping the Nazis with their companies, and the military blew up their warehouses and their buildings, and they were angry about it, and they were using Jewish forced labor. You know, they were using little Jewish children and stuff, and old Jewish people, and other people in Germany. You know, there was nuns and priests, and there was priests who didn't agree with the Holocaust who ended up in the Nazi camps, and the American companies were over there profiting off these people's, you know, enslavement. And the American companies were suing their own government, saying you blew up our businesses during World War II. And and that's something that the American schools don't teach the American children about how their government helped Adolf Hitler murder millions of people. It's something they've been hiding from the American children, just like they're hiding this gang stalking stuff. You know, we don't have a country of leaders; we have a country of cowards. And so, you know, Regina, it's horrible. And when you get into the spiritual aspect of it, Holocaust actually means burnt offering.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
That's all, I mean, because this is demonic. The people behind this are demon possessed. How can,
right.
You know, anyone that can do what they do to dehumanize another human, it has to be demonic.
Right. Right. You have to be mentally deranged to participate in it.
People join. Cause they don't act normal. The people that's actually that's hired, the way they act and the way they'll just follow you, and I mean, it's like they don't stop. See, like once they accept this job, something happened to them.
Right.
And I have on video where something is coming down from the sky.
Right.
There's something going on that our government know about that they're not telling the people, because
Yep.
I can feel it, but I can't see it, and I could be outside. My security camera would catch it, and it looked like it's snowing or heavy raining, but it's not, and it's not just coming down; it's going back up. Whatever this is, it's going back up, and there's something that's flying in the sky. So there's something going on up in the sky that they're not talking about. I heard this one guy was saying they have some type of new type of helicopter that you could just sit up in the sky and it goes faster than a regular helicopter. But I don't believe that. I think it could be, but what I'm seeing, those are not helicopters. There's something else up in that sky, and I have watched them fly and take place, and they're up there all night long, and there's something beaming down, coming down here from the sky, and I do believe they're doing something to us people. I think they're doing something to us, and I think that's why people can gang stalk and not have a conscience.
Well,
They can gang stalk.
Regina, when I was going through my alternative research, my conspiracy research years, I used to sit there and listen to lecturers and authors and different sorts of people, and I used to travel to go meet a lot of different people. And I remember some of the people, there used to be one person who always used to tell me, he was like, they can't think anymore. They can't think. And I used to listen to the guy say that. He's like, they can't think anymore. They can't. He'd always say that. And then he would say it's demonic. It's a war on for their soul. They can't think anymore. They can't think anymore. And I used to listen to it, and I understood it. But now I'm starting to really now it's not till this point in my life that I understand what was being said. Now I understand what was before. I was hearing it and I was believing it, but now I physically and socially and intellectually have experienced enough of it to the point where now I understand. Something's not real until you experience it.
Right.
You don't, people can say stuff like in a classroom, and people can say stuff and you can study stuff, but until you've actually experienced it, it's not really real. Experience is everything. Anybody can read about something. Who gives a fuck? Anybody can sit down and read about something, but until you actually have lived it and have experienced it, now you know from firsthand. You have firsthand knowledge. You've experienced this. It's real. This is your life, and so experiencing this stuff, now I understand these people are socially programmed from birth.
Right.
And the gang stalking is just one thing going on. They're programmed in a lot of different ways to do a lot of different stuff. And, I think the remote neural monitoring and different sorts of stuff, I think these people are being experimented on when they hire them to do this stuff. The people who are more involved with it, who do it every day, I think these people are being bred.
I actually feel they're becoming a part of the program.
Hive mind. Hive-minded people.
Exactly. Because I'm going to tell you what I saw one night. And when I try to tell people, everybody want to think I'm mentally ill. but I know what I saw. And nobody can tell me that I didn't see what I saw. There was a light coming down from the sky. And it was coming down. I stood there and watched it. But once it got just above the houses, it cut its lights off, and it was a flying saucer. I know the difference in a flying saucer and from a helicopter. This was not a helicopter. This was a flying saucer. And it came down. It didn't disappear. So someone asked me, well, did it disappear? No, it did not disappear. It came down, but I couldn't see it anymore because it went behind the houses.
Right.
And so in order for something like that to come down, and it's not detected, then they know it's here. And it got to be something underground for this thing to go and land. I know what I saw. And I think that's why they attack me so hard, because I talk about it.
Right.
You know, if they don't bother me, then I wouldn't have nothing to talk about. If they never was begin to attack me, I would have no reason. They actually got my name blackballed because the people that I have my security cameras with, I was getting when like someone come up and they take a video, they send it to my email, but they stopped sending it to my email, and I contact the people and I ask them why come I'm not getting notice in my email that someone has been videoed on my cameras. And so the guy emailed me and told me that my name has been blackballed. So what have I done to cause my name to be blackballed? That I can't even get my mail. They watching my mail in the email like I'm somebody important. The mailman.
Well, you don't got to do that goes back to the same thing. What the hell did you have to do? What the hell did you have to do in the Holocaust to get singled out and to have your store, to put one of them 6-point Jewish, the Star of David on your store? What did you have to? It started off in the Holocaust. In the Holocaust, it started off. You had they would take different people who stood out for various reasons, and they would send them to work camps, and they would go work for 6 months or 2 months or a year, and they'd let them go. They wouldn't kill them; they would just work them. And then gradually they started doing it to everybody. But damn, by the time the Holocaust was over, there was people in the Nazi Party getting sent to the fucking Holocaust. And what did they have to do? You didn't have to do anything. It's fucking criminals running it. What do you mean? What did you have to do? It's criminal. It's a criminal operation. You don't got to do anything. It's it's ran by criminals.
Exactly.
That's what criminals do. That's what criminals do. Huh?
They would ask me why he said, "Who are you? Why would somebody wanna stalk you? What makes you important?" They were asking me questions like that. I don't know. I would like to know, but whoever it was is a criminal.
Right. That's like asking what did the women that Ted Bundy murdered do? What did they do? He's a fucking criminal. And what do you mean? The motherfucker's a homicidal maniac. And so it's the same thing. Pretty soon they're going to be, and now they're doing it to children. There's a woman named Michelle. She said they were using electronic weapons on her 6-year-old daughter's genitals.
But they have children gang stalking.
Yeah, they're using. Yeah, just how they use children to do all sorts of weird, sick stuff, like hump up and down the streets like they're having sex in broad daylight in the middle of the community. Now they're to participate. Now they're attacking children. Now, just how they use children in the gang stalking, now they're attacking children, and now they're gang stalking children, just like the Hitler Youth.
Because I had some small children to follow me on an elevator. The grandfather was still in the lobby, and the children followed me on the in the elevator. But I could tell you could feel it. Somehow I can feel when I'm being gang stalked.
Right.
I just feel demonic. And these were small children. They were acting friendly and stuff, but I knew that they were sent to follow me.
Right.
So if I'm such a terrorist and I'm such a bad person that you got to gang stalk me and you got to torment me 24 hours a day, that you got people riding by my house 24 hours a day. For 2 days, I timed it. From 1 to 3 minutes, a car passed by my house. I did this for 2 days.
Right.
And these people riding by, some of them will lift up the phone. Because at first, I couldn't understand how they know I'm going outside. Because they would lift their phones up at me. So I was, and I got where I didn't want to go outside because sometimes they would hit me. Something would hit me in my belly, and it would feel like it was a weird feeling I would get in my belly, and my stomach would start boiling or something. And so instead of me going out the front door, I would go out the back door and go through the gate, trying to hide. So if a car passed, I would just jump back behind it. But then I took 2 days and I just timed it. I said, no wonder they can pass by when I'm going outside, because they passing by all day and all night. This is all night long and all day that these people are riding by. Then some will come with some lame excuse, can they do this or can they do that? And how I found out that they were gang stalkers. This one dude came to wanted to know if he could cut my grass, but he meant to get the information. They use they phone to download information, the technology that's in our bodies, some type of way that they have a schematic, and they can get the information from the technology from our body to their phone, and they can attack us with their phone, but his phone wouldn't work, and he couldn't get the information. So I quit answering the door for people. I look out the door and out my window, and I see there's somebody that I don't know. I don't answer the phone. I don't answer my door. I only answer the door for people I know, because I know they coming up with some type of excuse so they can get the information from this phone. Then they have people, some of these houses, that they are rent these houses, and the gang stalkers are in the houses. So they'll rent the houses for people to be there so they can gang stalk. And then they're using military technology to attack you while you in your own home. Right now where I live, there are 4 houses across the street. Each house beside me, there are 3 houses on the same street that I know of. There may be more, but I know 3 houses right beside me on the same side of the street as we are. There are 4 houses across the street, and then there are 3 houses behind us. I know those people are gang stalkers, so they got us surrounded by gang stalkers, and then gang stalkers ride by all day long and all night long. So I don't get no more than about 2 to 3 hours of sleep. I don't go to sleep. I don't even go to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm awake between something after 5 and around 6, because this technology is vibrating in my body, and I wake up smelling like cooked meat that haven't been seasoned. Sometimes it smells like sulfur, so I don't know if it's someone is putting sulfur in the vents, but it smells like. That's when I was sleeping in my bedroom. I don't even sleep in my bedroom anymore. I sleep on a couch, because when I sleep in the bedroom, my room smells like sulfur. Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just soaking it up, Regina. Yeah, you've been through a lot of different stuff, and
I sleep on the couch, and I still get hit. I'm still get they still shooting the beams coming through the windows and through the walls, even through the ceiling. I still get hit, and then I can't get no sleep. Sometimes I could eat, and I don't know if they shooting the refrigerator and causing the food to be messed up or what. Because sometimes I could eat and I get sick to the stomach. It's terrible. It's terrible. And then they have my private area vibrating. The vibration vibrates so bad in my body till my private area vibrates and burns. So yeah, I'm being attacked in my private area, and I'm being attacked on my heart. It's it's like I don't know if they're trying to kill me or just make me suffer. Sometimes I feel like I'm not going to live long. And I tell my children, if I die, it's not no natural death. They killed me. Because I wake up, my heart be beating so hard. And, these things be vibrating. And now I used to can stop it. I just put a magnet on me, but now I can't even. After I got attacked by the military, I was on post and I got attacked in my spine. To now, I can't control once they start. I can't stop it. I used to could stop. I could just put one of those big magnets on it in that area, and I could feel it when it starts slowing down. And sometimes it won't even vibrate. Be trying to vibrate, but it wouldn't, cause the magnet was keeping it. But now, the magnets don't do nothing. I still wear them, but they're not doing nothing. And I just vibrate, and it's affecting my nervous system, cause now my body is jerking, and especially on the left side, I just tremble like if I'm trying to drink something, my hand just tremble because it's affecting my nervous system.
Right. That's really crazy. It's really crazy.
And it seems like they getting something out of tormenting a person. Because I've heard two different women. Now these are women. I was at this Waffle House, and this guy and this girl came and sat behind me, and the guy started repeating something that I had a conversation about, me and my friend. He started repeating it, but I heard the girl say she didn't care. This is dealing with her money. And I heard another lady say it. I was outside doing something in the yard, and they were sitting over in across the street. So she started attacking me because I could feel it in my belly, but the other girl was telling her not to do it. And she said, I don't care, this dealing with my money. And these are women that's saying this stuff. Most of the people that are stalking me, that actually hit me with the weapons are men, but with their phones, they have some type of setting in their phone that they can use that can cause these implants to vibrate.
Hey, man, I'm interviewing somebody. I accidentally sent you that. The number in the
This is Evan Marsh on the phone. How are y'all?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Chilling, brother.
I hear you, man. Man, I'm sorry I accidentally sent you that. I was interviewing somebody on the gang stalking.
Yeah.
Right. And I was sending them the key code to it, and I accidentally sent it to your phone, man.
That's good. You're supposed to do that.
Right.
How are you, man?
Good, man. I'm good.
Oh, what was that lady talking about? She said something about a vibrating phone?
No, we were talking about gang stalking. We were talking about witchcraft and the spiritual aspect of it and how they use technology to mess with people.
Oh. Yay. Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. You can finish what you're saying.
Right. Well, we're about done anyway. Say, Regina?
Yes.
You there?
Yes, I am.
All right, Regina, we've been out here for about an hour. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you back after a while and go through this. And I'm gonna call you and edit a little bit. I'm gonna call you back after a while, and then we'll finish your story.
Okay.
Hey, can I talk about something?
Yeah. Well, hold on. If you want to, I gotta close off of here because this is her. She was just telling her personal story, and is well, you can if you would like, you can, but let me close off her recording, and then if you want to talk about something like that, then we can do that. But I got it. This is her interview though, so I gotta
Yeah.
I gotta close off of here first.
Yeah, let's play in the spiritual world.
Right.
Tell them come on.
If you want me to interview you on it, there's no problem. But I have to close off of here, and the phone's about to go off. But if you want me to interview you, then come right back on here in 1 minute, and I can interview you.
You're gonna have an interview of the century with the God of Thunder.
All right. Meet me. I'm about to close off. Then meet me right back on here. Regina?
Yes.
Okay, that was a friend of mine, and I sent him the PIN number. I sent him the call number, the PIN number, and he came on here at the last minute, and he didn't understand what was going on. And then he heard me talking to you. He just came on here at the last second. But I'm gonna go ahead and edit this, and I'm gonna do the interview, and then I'll come back. I'll call you in like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then we'll see if we can cover some more if you feel comfortable.
Okay.
Okay. All right, sweetheart. Thank you so much, Regina. You know, like your story is a big aspiration to people, and we got an hour of it down so far. And right now I'm finishing up with, I just did like an education on gang stalking series 1 through 10, and then this is an off the grid series 1 through 10. And so there's like two after this interview right here. I need just a little bit more to finish it, and we can go ahead and finish it. You can help me finish it if you want, because I believe the spiritual warfare aspect of it is more important than anything, because you can get into electronical weapons and psychology. And you can get into you can talk about the color stalking. You can talk about the daily activities that these street terrorists are involved with, but just identifying the street terrorists and what they're doing is not enough. We have to bring the spiritual aspect into it, because these street terrorists are working for a demonic agenda.
Right. Mhm.
The street terrorists are working for a demonic agenda. So we got to keep that covered, and so, but I'll call you in about 30 to 45 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Talk to you in a minute, Regina.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.